Yo, what's up everybody? Jumping here. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys my Asari Adept build in Mass Effect Andromeda. Now, this fucking chick is amazing. She can do a lot of awesome stuff, and she's so much fun to play. Definitely one of my favorite characters in the game right now, and she's actually the character I use to farm gold. I'm always playing her, and I even got her freaking card, which I've been complaining about these cards. I got it to 8. So, when you actually look at her right now, she's about level 28. Now, I'm going to be showing you guys the build for the Asari Adept when she's level 20 and you have a 1 card, and also the build for when she has the 10 card, so she would be like level 30, because that actually matters. A lot of people might not have 10 card. I would recommend, though, a good strategy for unlocking everything in the game. Start with the basic stuff, so you want to sit there and buy those 5,000 packs until you have every common maxed out, including all the characters that are common. Then you sit there and you buy the advanced packs to get all of the uncommons maxed out. Then you can go ahead and buy the premium packs and the expert packs to get all the rares maxed out. So let me go ahead and get started with the build. Alright, so let's talk about the weapon. I definitely recommend something that is close combat, either a shotgun or an SMG. I'm using the N7 Hurricane still. It's the best weapon I have. And I really do like the gun, but I really want to use something else. One of her biggest weaknesses is that she actually will run out of ammo a lot, and that can get you killed on gold if you're trying to run and get ammo, so it sucks. So the gun that I really want to use on her is going to be the Equalizer. I think this is a fantastic gun. I want to level it up so I can use it, but because it's only level 1, guess what? The Hurricane is better and I don't want to use it. But you get infinite ammo with it, and it's actually a really good gun. So if you have this leveled up, I would probably recommend it for the build. You could also use a shotgun, but you need to be careful about your power recharge speed. You don't want to have that too negative because this build is really all around that. You want to be able to use your powers as much as possible so you can get explosions. Now, if you're having ammo problems, one thing you could do is you could equip the second pistol. But the only pistol that I can equip right now is the Predator and maintain my recharge speed. So if I went ahead and equipped the Sidewinder, I'm going to go ahead and lose a little bit of recharge speed. I really don't want that. Now, once you level up a lot of these guns, like the Sidewinder, then you can go ahead and equip it, and you should still have the 100% recharge speed. So that is something to consider. The other thing I'm using right here is the Juggernaut Shield. Now, in the gameplay, I do not have that. I actually recently bought it. But what the Juggernaut Shield does, it gives you 10% shields and 75% melee. But for all builds, this is actually pretty good because it can make your melee viable for both gold and silver. It will pretty much guarantee you that if something is somewhat weak and you're going to punch it to finish it off, it will die. So the Juggernaut Shield is pretty good. The other equipment right now that you can buy, which I wish I would have bought for the Asari Adept, is the Thermal Clip one. That will actually help me big time with my ammo. So I definitely want to buy that now, and I might actually use it on this build. In the future, there will be better equipment though. Hopefully something that will reduce the cooldown for your powers, or the power damage, or your weapon damage. Now, let's go ahead and get into the build. Now, the first thing I wanted to say is that the gameplay you're about to watch is from a couple days ago, and I recently unlocked her cards like crazy. I got really lucky, and I kept getting all of her character cards like in a row, so I got it all the way up to level 8. So what you see right now for my build is different than what I was using in the gameplay. When I was doing the gameplay, I think I had Throw at level 2, I had Lance at level 2, and everything else at level 6 besides Offensive Biotics, which was at level 5. That would be like my recommendation for the low level build. So if you don't have her card unlocked and you're level 20, that's what you want. Throw at 1 or 2, Lance at 1 and 2, Annihilation at 6, Offensive Biotics at 5, and Barrier at 6. Now, if you actually have her card maxed out, what you want for your build is going to be Throw at 6, Annihilation at 6, Lance at 1, Offensive Biotics at 6, and Barrier at 6. That's something I've learned, and that's actually really awesome. You can max out 4 of the skills to 6, and you can keep 1 skill at 1. So that is really cool because that's better than Mass Effect 3. In Mass Effect 3, you could only have 4 of the skills maxed out, and you would not have 1 point into the final skill. So I do like that a lot. So let's go ahead and talk about what you want for all of your evolution. Now, if you're going to level up throw, which remember, you want to wait for throw. I would recommend waiting for this until you unlock her cards. But once you level it up, you definitely want radius. This will help big time for detonating more explosions. I really like radius because you can miss throw. And if you miss throw, if you have the radius, you'll still hit them. The next thing you want is cooldown speed. You definitely want the cooldown speed. You want to be able to use it as much as possible. And the final thing you want is combo detonation damage and recharge speed. Pretty much if you combine all the recharge speed together that you get, I think it's 60%. Now the default time for throw is 10 seconds. And because it's only 10 seconds, then if you minus that by 60%, it becomes pretty much 4 seconds. And that's actually really good. That's the main reason why you're going to choose this over Lance. Because Lance is not a bad power. I do like Lance a lot. It's kind of like Warp in a way, but it's worse. That's the big downside. It doesn't set up explosions. It only can detonate explosions. And honestly, a lot of the evolutions for this power are not that great. The best one is probably the weakness to the headshot. That's pretty good for bosses and stuff. But if you do want to get Lance over throw, what I would recommend is radius, because you can miss Lance. And with the radius, you really won't miss it. If you throw it out and it's close enough to the enemy, it will still hit him. The next thing I would recommend is probably the weakness, just because it's really nice for your team against bosses and strong enemies. And then finally, I would definitely recommend the damage in the force. At first, I thought that this might be amazing, and I think that this power has a lot of potential. They need to go ahead and change this particular perk. It should not take half of your fucking shield to throw out Lance. It really should be maybe 25% of your shield, or even like 15% of your shield. Just kind of like the phase disruptor from Mass Effect 3 with the N7 Slayer. So I think that's what they should have done with this power. That would have been really cool. But if you go for this, it's half your shield. And of course, if you consume your shield and you don't have a recharge speed, it's pretty awesome for this build, because there's a lot of things with this build that can maybe get your shield back. But trust me, you're too squishy for that. You do not want to be taking off half your shield. You're going to get totally wrecked if you do that. So I do not recommend Lance. I definitely recommend Throw. Now the main power here is Annihilation. This is the best power that you have pretty much. It's so good. The big downside to it, there's only one big negative. It will make your powers recharge slower. So you always have to factor that in. It starts at 60% and then you can get it down to 50%. Now you have a choice to go ahead and lower that even lower by an additional 30%, but you don't want that. You want the radius. The radius helps big time. The radius will improve dramatically, and that will help you because the radius will affect a lot of different things, not just the explosions. Like for example, this perk right here. What this does, this will weaken all the enemies that are in the radius. So you want the radius, like that's really important. The next thing that is also really important, because this will also be affected by the radius. Anytime something dies in the radius of the field, you and all your teammates will get 30% of their shields back, and it does not matter how they die. You can blow them up, you can kill them with a power, you can shoot them, you can fart on them, you can do whatever the fuck you want, and if they die in that field, and even if the teammates kill them, you're gonna get 30% of your shields back. So it's amazing. This is such a great power, and the fact that what it does is that it just sets up a crazy amount of explosions. So if you're playing with a team of people that can all detonate, you're gonna get so many explosions. It's unbelievable. Now the next thing is going to be offensive biotics. Now this is one that you're going to wait to level up. Once you have your card fully maxed out, then you can get it to 6. But this is going to be the last thing that I go for. Now the first thing that you want in here is going to be just recharge speed, because that's so important to have those recharge speeds. But this is amazing. This is amazing. Exposure. What it does is that it's going to debuff the enemies by 20% as long as they are affected by a biotic power. Now you have Annihilation. And Annihilation is already going to weaken them by 20%. So when you combine this perk with Annihilation Field, you're going to weaken them by 40%. That's pretty much like the best debuff in the game right now. Invasion, which is a debuff power, only debuffs by 35%. So that's kind of crazy that this girl actually is a better debuffer than the Solarian Operative, who's kind of all around that. So yeah. Now, the final thing that you're going to want to get once you have her fully maxed out is going to be this, just to increase weapon damage and melee damage after you use a power. It's only for 3 seconds, but that's the playstyle of this build. You want to go in, you want to hit them with the power, blow them up, and then shoot them, and then maybe hit them with another power. I call it the hit it and quit it style. You go in, you fuck them, and you pull out. So that's pretty much how you want to play with her, unless you're going to camp, which is actually perfectly okay, and it might be even better when you're camping. But if you're going to run and gun, that's definitely what you want to do. Hit it and quit it. Now, the final thing is so important. This is one of the first things you should level up, besides maybe Annihilation, is Barrier. I thought that she was really squishy, and at first, I really didn't like her. And when you first start playing with her, you're probably going to think she's too damn squishy. But once you max out your Barrier, she actually becomes really fucking beefy. There's a lot of good things in her Barrier tree. The first thing I go for is max shields. Now, you could go ahead and go for the regeneration if you like, but you have to remember, you do have Annihilation, so anytime that anything dies in that field, you're going to get 30% of your shields back. The next thing is actually really awesome because it goes really well with Annihilation field, which is that you will increase your shields by 40% as long as an enemy is affected with a biotic effect, meaning Annihilation field. So it flows really, really well. Now, the most important thing to get is the final perk. This perk is amazing. I would call this perk broken, because this will save your fucking life. If you pay attention in my gameplay, this is going to save my life multiple times. What it does is that once every 10 seconds, if you fall below the 25% health mark, you get all your shields back for free. And what can happen is, you do that once, it saves you, and then 10 seconds later, you lose your shield again, you get shot by one bullet, and it takes you down to the 20% mark. Now you get all your shields back again. And you can keep doing that for a while until finally they'll just kill you, because you have so low health that one bullet is going to kill you, or if they just literally fart on you, you'll die. So when you have a bee's dick of health, you will die, but it takes a lot for them to kill you. It's really, really awesome. And the only other thing that can kill you is you get this effect and then you immediately just get fucked because you're surrounded by everyone and you don't have 10 seconds to wait. So it's amazing though. This is such an amazing power. If you see this on any build, go for it. It's worth it. Alrighty guys, well that's going to pretty much do it for the build. The main thing about this build is that you can blow shit up and you can debuff the enemies, so it's super nice. And on top of that, you can support your allies as well, because not only are you going to get your shields back for killing enemies, but your allies are going to get their shields back for killing enemies. So she is absolutely amazing. Alrighty, well this is going to be the gameplay. It's going to be on Firebase Magma and it's going to be on gold. I've actually been playing a lot of gold recently, trying to get that money and get that grind. And let me tell you, the grind is fucking real, guys. Holy hell. It's a bitch. I decided I want to play gold, I want to get that money, and I want to unlock stuff because my weapons fucking still suck ass. But I have decided to kind of change my approach. A lot of people were telling me, Jumpin', you really should just start with the basic stuff. Buy all the crappy advanced pack stuff and the basic stuff to get all the commons and all the uncommons out of the way. And I'm glad I did that because I've been able to unlock so many Asari Adept cards and the Krogan Vanguard cards and the Turian Soldier, Solarian Infiltrator. So all of those videos will be coming because I have them all really high. And all the humans too, I have all of them really high with their character cards. So yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate the advice. And when you do like a gold match, if you beat it, you can buy like 11 basic packs. And you can buy at least 2 advanced packs. And every like couple games you can buy 3. It's really, really good. So I do recommend doing that approach. It works really well if you want to unlock a lot of stuff. And once you have all the basic stuff done, then you can start working on getting all the rare stuff and maybe eventually getting all the ultra rare stuff. But I do feel like I will be able to unlock everything. It's going to take some time, but I will be able to do it. Just not the ultra rare stuff. That stuff can take a long fucking time because it's so freaking rare. And I'm not going to spend any real money. If I spent a lot of real money, I would think I could do it. But let me get back to the point. So gold is definitely a lot of fun. Like, although we're camping and stuff, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a video about how to farm gold effectively and make it super easy. Let me know if you guys want to see that. I don't know why I ask stupid questions like that. Obviously, the answer is going to be, yeah, please make that video. So why am I asking you guys what you think? I'm gonna make the video regardless, that's why I brought it up. But anyway, besides that stupid thing I just said, I will make that video, and I'll show you my strategy for farming gold, and I'll also show you the dream team, which I don't have the dream team in this video, unfortunately. Now, I'm not talking about people, like the players don't matter. The dream team is when you assemble your group and you combine certain powers together, so you need like certain characters and stuff. And it's fucking amazing what you can do. There's a lot of awesome stuff you can do. Now, of course, you're gonna have to camp, but most people are okay with camping for gold. Like, that's fine. And it's still actually a lot of fun. Even if you are, like, camping in a room or something, you just do some crazy shit. Now, I will start to run and gun in this game. There's no doubt about it. But I need the better weapons. I just feel like if I'm running and gunning, even if I'm doing really well and I'm kicking ass, the problem is if I can't kill the enemies fast enough, they will kill me, and I don't want to be that guy who runs around and getting killed and everyone else is like, God damn, what a fucking scrub, man. Like, who is this guy? So I hate that shit. I will make that video though, so I will talk about everything you need to know about farming gold and all that in that video. And in fact, farming gold is so fucking easy that one of your fucking players can go AFK and eat dinner, which is what fucking happened to Pumpkin. We told her, you wanna eat? Go ahead, we can 3-man this shit. We don't need you. You can just sit in the corner and eat some fucking delicious food and we will kick ass. And that's what we did. Okay, let me stop talking about all that because the point of this video is all about the Asari Adept and what makes her so fucking amazing. Now, when I first seen her, I immediately thought, oh my god, I want to play her. Why? Because she's the fucking N7 Fury. Now, is she as good as the N7 Fury from Mass Effect 3? Fuck no, no way. It doesn't even come close, and that's just because we're talking about Mass Effect 3. And everything in this game, maybe not everything, there's a lot of things this game does that I do enjoy. I think there's a lot of changes that are good, and there's some that are bad. Like the combo damage is pretty bad. Now, if this was Mass Effect 3, this bitch would be fucking just dominating. Gold would be like so easy with her because you're blowing everything up and it's fucking crazy. Now, the explosions in this game, I've already been over this, that I think that they're pretty weak. Now, when I play her though, I will admit, as I'm playing the Asari Adept, I start to like second guess myself. I'll sit there and I'll go, man, you know, these explosions are pretty fucking good. And maybe I'm being a little bit too hard on this game about explosions. Like, this shit's pretty damn good. Is it overpowered? Fuck no. But is it good? Hell yeah. So I start to think about that, and then I realize, oh wait, I'm a fucking retard for thinking that way because I'm playing with goddamn Annihilation Field on pretty much an N7 Fury. This shit don't work like this on everybody else. Annihilation Field is such an amazing power because you turn it on, and it's on until you die. It's on for like fucking ever at that point. And then you will constantly set up explosions that you can detonate and your teammates can detonate, and it's freaking amazing when you have that ability. Now, if you're playing as, let's say, the human engineer, which I think the human engineer in this game is really good. I like him a lot, and I will make a video on him because I think he is one of the best people to play on gold, for sure. He has a lot of potential. But if you are playing with randoms, and let's say you're playing silver, and you're running around the map trying to do combos, guess what? That shit sucks donkey dick. You know why? Because those randoms are probably not going to follow you around and set off your combos for you. So you're going to have to do it yourself. So what does that mean? That means you're going to have to sit there and use cryo beam on something to go ahead and get the chill effect or the freeze effect. Then you have to charge up your overload and use it to get so little damage. I mean, literally, on silver especially. There's a lot of red bar enemies that won't die from that. And I'm sorry, but on silver, red bar enemies should die. On gold, they should die from that cryo explosion because it took 2 of your powers. You had to do a lot of work to get that. And was it worth it? Fuck no. Now, if we're talking about something stronger, let's say a Krogan from the Outlaws, yeah, of course the Krogans shouldn't die, but they should at least take a lot of damage. I'm talking about maybe half their health because you had to sit there and work for that. And if you're talking about teamwork, like what we're doing, because the explosions can be good with teamwork, I will admit that. If you're using a team, the explosions are good. But with teamwork, it promotes it. It says, you know, hey guys, work as a team. There's these really awesome combos you can do. Set your team up around these combos and pull them off, and it's going to be fucking amazing. And in this game, the damage just isn't all that amazing. But I figured it out. I kind of thought about it and realized what they're going for in this game. Now, in Mass Effect 3, the powers were kind of a support thing, although they were kind of powerful. No pun intended there, but seriously, they were good. They were definitely good.
A lot of powers like Overload, for example, was kind of a support thing. Yes, it can take down shields. Yes, it can detonate combos. I primarily used it to stun. I would throw out the Overload, stun the enemy, and shoot them. And in this game, I really think that's what they want you to do. They want you to use your powers to stun the enemies and then shoot the enemies. So it's kind of a combination between gunplay and using your powers, which I have no problem with that. I actually think that's okay. Maybe the combos could be a little bit better, a little bit more powerful, maybe have just a little tiny bit more radius to them. I don't know. I guess that's what they want. And if you want to stun enemies, if you want to stun the fuck out of enemies, the combos are where it's at. Now, are the combos going to kill the enemies? Probably not. But they will stun the fuck out of them and allow you to shoot them and allow you to do some really cool stuff. So I do think the combos are a lot better now, especially if you're using them on the Asari Adept. That's for sure. And if you're doing a team thing. Now, one of the cool things about this game that they have changed. Now, this was the case in Mass Effect 3. I've heard this argument about the power of the combos. And one thing I want to point out, when you're judging the power combo damage, you really need to pay attention to the power combo damage and not the damage that is caused by the power that you're using to detonate. If you're using Lance and it's fully maxed out, and you hit something with it and it does a lot of damage and you're like, wow, that was pretty good. The question is, was that the power combo that did that damage or was it Lance? And most of the time it's Lance. The power combo is going to do kind of worthless shit, but it will stun the fuck out of them and it's really cool to look at. I will say that much. The combos look amazing. They look fucking epic as fuck. There's no doubt about it. But getting back to the point, one argument I've heard from people about why the power combos have been nerfed and they're really weak now is people will point out that combos can be detonated by pretty much anything. Now, of course, some powers can detonate and some powers can set up. But if you're talking about powers that can detonate, pretty much if it's tech, if it's biotic, whatever, it can detonate every combo. And that's kind of cool. Now, people will point that out. Like, if I'm using Annihilation Field and someone hits an enemy with Overload, they will actually explode a biotic combo. And that was not the case in Mass Effect 3. But in Mass Effect 3, it kind of was the case. Not for biotic, but for everything else. If I was using a human Vanguard with Nova and Charge, I could detonate every cryo combo, every fire combo, every tech burst. The only thing that Attack couldn't do, like Overload, could not detonate a biotic explosion. And different other powers that were fire, like Incinerate, couldn't detonate biotic explosions. But when it comes to Tech Burst, when it comes to Cryo, when it came to Fire, pretty much anything could detonate those. So all they really did with this game is they kind of like adjusted it to make it more fair. I mean, yeah, when everything can detonate everything, that's a lot more fair because why the fuck, if cryo could be detonated by everything, and fire could be detonated by everything, and tech could be detonated by everything, why the fuck couldn't biotic be detonated by everything? So, I like that change. But I don't think that's the reason for why the combos are so weak. I just really think they were trying to do something different. They didn't want the combos to be, like, incredibly strong. They wanted the combos to be a support thing where you could use it to stun the enemies, which is what I think they do best. And, of course, you're going to shoot the enemies to death because that's what they want. They want you to shoot enemies to death, and I kind of dig it. The only thing I don't dig is that when you don't have good weapons, shooting the enemies to death is kind of a bitch, and it kind of makes you want to get better weapons. And it kind of makes you start thinking about spending money on the game and doing microtransactions. So the question is that what they were going for? Did they want people to say, man, these powers suck. I need microtransactions so I can get better weapons so I can actually play the game and actually do gold and silver and all that type of stuff. If that's the case, that's a bunch of bullshit, but I don't really know. I can't really tell you what they were thinking. Anyway, that's enough about that. The main thing here I want to talk about with the Asari, I mean, you can see the gameplay, you can kind of judge for yourself. The amount of, like, fucking combos you can do, especially if you're farming with a team and you're talking about it and you kind of decide, okay, I want an engineer. The human engineer is great, by the way. I want maybe the Asari Huntress. She's really good as well. She's got stealth grid, she's got throw, she can detonate combos. Maybe you're looking for a Vanguard, a human Vanguard with Charge and Nova, or a Krogan Vanguard with Charge and Nova. Now, Nova can't set off combos, but Charge can, and Nova's a pretty awesome power. So you combine all that together with your team doing gold and you're kind of camping it up. With this lady, man, You can do so many combos. It's fucking crazy. And it actually does help a lot. I will say that much. The combos will actually do enough damage. They do help. And the fact that they stun the enemies and stuff, it's freaking awesome. It's fantastic. Now, the main thing about her, though, that just makes her so awesome, in my opinion, is her debuff. There's a big difference you can tell. Like, if you combine certain debuffs together. Like, let's say you're playing with the human engineer, and he's got the cryo beam, and he can weaken armor. Well, if you combine her 40% debuff that she can get, and his weaken armor, you can just watch Krogan's melt. And there's multiple times in this gameplay where you will actually see Krogan's get destroyed. And trust me, none of us have really good weapons. We all have, like, level 1 weapons. They're all pretty shit. The only one that actually has an okay weapon is Pumpkin. She's got a level 6 equalizer, and that's it. Everyone else is just rocking level 1 weapons and are not very good. But when you debuff the enemies, especially the strong ones like those Krogans, it makes a lot of difference, and it really, really makes gold a lot easier. I think every gold team can use an Asari Adept. So if you have this lady and you haven't tried her yet, I highly recommend it. She's really good if you want to camp, if you want to like be together and play strategically, that's for sure. Or if you want to run and gun, it's so much fun. And in the future, when I actually do have better guns and I can run and gun more effectively without dying like all the time, then I will go ahead and I will make another video where I will show her running and gunning because it's so much fun. Like I said, she can do everything. I mean, she really can. And one of the best things about her too is the fact that she just is kind of beefy and tanky. She's got like some good perks for her fitness and her barrier, which is actually what it's called, but I like to call it fitness because I always think of Mass Effect 3, and I always call these fuckers Atlases. I'm sorry. Sometimes people ask me, why do you call them Atlases? I'm like, fucking Mass Effect 3, dude. Did you play it? Oh, no, I didn't play Mass Effect 3. Oh, well, fuck, dude. You missed out then. But yeah, I have that bad habit. So anyway, her barrier, that freaking perk that gives you your health back or your shields back, that shit's awesome. I mean, you can see it in the gameplay multiple times that I'm gonna die, and because of that perk, it saves my fucking life, man. I love that shit so much. Any Asari or anybody who has that perk, I definitely say it's worth getting because it will just keep you alive, man, and let you hold that line. That's what you need to do. And yeah, anyway, I mean, that's pretty much it about her. I mean, there's other things I could talk about, but I think that's her main strength, is her ability to do all these combos is fucking overpowered as fuck. And she can also debuff the enemies, which is awesome as fuck. She's a lot of fun to run and gun. And if you want to go ahead and camp it up and do gold and stuff, by all means, do it. You know, it's kind of crazy, but I literally was going to recommend her for just silver at first. And then I discovered, oh my god, she's fucking amazing on everything. Alrighty guys, that's going to pretty much do it for the gameplay. I really hope that you have enjoyed this and that it has helped. If it has, will you please like the video for me? Be sure to subscribe for future videos. And I really do hope that everyone has a very nice day and peace. So,
yes, you can! Just do it! If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up.